Shocking death of a judge on a road in Dhanbad spurs outrage. Jharkhand High Court will monitor the probe. 2 people are arrested. Government announces 27% quota for OBCs and 10% for the economically weaker sections in medical courses under the All India Quota Scheme. Kerala now emerges as India's COVID epicenter with half of all daily reported cases from the state. Karnataka also records a steep 34% hike in daily cases. Mizoram writes to centre claims blockade by Assam. Assam denies it. Assam police now issues an advisory against travel to Mizoram. Hello and welcome to NDTV 24/7. I'm Rohit Wellington. Let's begin with our top story. The death of a judge in Jharkhand on Wednesday in what was initially believed to be a hit and run took a chilling turn with security footage of the incident leading to a murder investigation. As the killing generated shock and rage, Chief Justice of India, Justice N.V. Ramana, said that he had spoken to the Jharkhand High Court. A special investigation team has been formed and the Jharkhand High Court is monitoring the probe. 2 people have been arrested.
After this chilling video, Dhanbad Judge Uttam Anand's death is now being investigated as murder, not a hit and run. On an empty road, this vehicle goes out of its path to knock him down.
तो देख करके लग रहा है कि इंटेंशनली कोई मारा है, ये एक्सीडेंट का केस नहीं लगता है.
The police say it has seized the vehicle and arrested 2 people on charges of murder who have reportedly confessed. The number plate of the vehicle had been tampered with, hinting at signs of conspiracy.
जो कथन जांच के दायरे में आ रहे हैं, उनको हम लोग उनसे पूछताछ करते हैं. हमारी टीम अलग-अलग जगह लगी हुई है. अब देख रहे हैं जो हमारे सही पदाधिकारी हमारे साथ हैं.
The actual owner of the vehicle claimed that it was stolen 2 days ago, while the family of the accused driver claimed he told them that he had won a lottery.
रात में करीब 3:30 बजे हम उठे तो देखे टेम्पो गायब है.
मेरा भाई बोला कि कहाँ से आए? तो बोला हम आए पाथलडी से, तो हमको 80,000 लॉटरी लगा है. लॉटरी लगने के बाद हम यही गाड़ी लिए हैं और एक मोबाइल लिए हैं.
Additional District Judge Uttam Yadav was involved in several high-profile cases. He had recently rejected the bails for 2 accused of Aman Singh's gang, a criminal notorious for kidnappings and extortion across Jharkhand and Bihar. The murder case of Ranjay Singh, a close aide of Jharia MLA Sanjeev Singh, was also pending before his court. The issue was also raised today before the Chief Justice of India by the Supreme Court Bar Association President Vikas Singh, who sought a CBI probe into the matter.
This was so shocking and such a brazen attempt on the independence of judiciary. I am demanding a CBI inquiry.
The Chief Justice of India said, "I have spoken to Chief Justice of Jharkhand High Court and he has taken up the issue and the case is going on there. We are aware of the case and we will take care." The Jharkhand High Court meanwhile warned the district police with Chief Justice Ravi Ranjan saying there was a delay in filing an FIR in the case. We will monitor the probe and will not tolerate any laxity in it. If we find laxity on the part of the district police, then we will not hesitate in handing over the probe to the CBI. The judge was out jogging at around 5:35 in the morning. A passerby took him to hospital where he died around 9:30. The police identified him after his family reported him missing at 7 a.m. He was only half a kilometer away from his home when he was hit by the vehicle.
The broad daylight incident has sent shockwaves across the country because if the guardians of the law itself are not safe, then it raises serious questions and demands a thorough probe. With Kundan from Dhanbad, Harivansh from Ranchi and Manish Kumar from Patna, in New Delhi, this is Sukirti Dwivedi for NDTV.
The other big story is the central government has announced a 27% quota for OBCs and 10% reservation for the economically weaker section for the undergraduate and postgraduate medical and dental courses from the current academic year. The Prime Minister has called this a landmark decision.
Months ahead of key elections in several states, including the biggest one, Uttar Pradesh, the centre has announced a new set of quotas to be implemented. The Prime Minister described this as a landmark decision, saying this will immensely help thousands of our youth every year get better opportunities and create a new paradigm of social justice in our country.
The decision to go ahead with reservation was prompted by a court order, and the government was pushed to go ahead with this decision. Irrespective, all political parties cutting across party lines, including the opposition, say it will be difficult for them to oppose this political move, especially since they don't want to be seen upsetting the SCs, STs, OBCs and the economically weaker sections.
In fact, they were compelled to take decision by the orders of the court. They never yielded. They didn't want to give a reservation to backward classes, particularly in state surrendered seats. In fact, they have been dodging, I would use this word, they have been dodging, they have been denying, depriving the backward class students.
It is a historical milestone, it is a great achievement. It is a great victory for social justice. Central government should implement strictly from this academic year onwards. For the past 4 years, the OBCs have lost more than 11,200 seats in UG, PG, medical and dental seats.
The central government has provided for reservation in the All India Quota scheme for medical and dental courses in state-run institutions. There will be a 27% reservation for OBCs and a 10% reservation for economically weaker sections. The government says about 5,500 students will benefit. The 27% OBC quota will take the total quotas up to 49.5%. For the EWS quota of 10%, extra seats were added after a 2019 amendment. The centre has said that the total seats for the unreserved category will not reduce. In Lucknow, the political nerve centre for the 2022 state polls and even the 2024 national election, MBBS aspirants were divided over the move.
गरीब वालों के लिए तो ठीक है, मगर जो ओबीसी वालों के लिए लगा है वो तो फिर जनरल को इफेक्ट करेगा, क्योंकि अभी कॉलेजेस की सीट कम है इंडिया में मेडिकल को लेके, और जितनी डॉक्टरों की रिक्वायरमेंट है वो बहुत ज़्यादा है एज पर द सीट।
और ये जो गवर्नमेंट द्वारा ये लॉ जारी किया गया है ये हमारे लिए बेनिफिशियल होगा, क्योंकि इसके जरिए हमारे जो परसेंटेज ऑफ होंगे मेरिट के वो ज़्यादा इंक्रीज हो जाएंगे।
In 2020, the Supreme Court had dismissed a batch of petitions, including by the Tamil Nadu government, seeking 50% OBC quota in state-run medical colleges. The AIADMK-led Tamil Nadu government and the DMK, in power now, had both moved the top court after the centre had said it was not possible to extend 50% OBC reservation last year. With Sunil Prabhu, Arvind Gunashekhar and Sam Daniel, this is Alok Pandey, NDTV.
Shifting focus to COVID now, with Kerala reporting over 22,000 cases for a second day, the centre has now decided to send a 6-member team to aid the state's efforts. Uma Sudhir reports.
The answer to why Kerala is reporting more than 50% of the country's COVID cases is in the latest ICMR Sero survey. That says only 44% of Kerala's population has antibodies to fight COVID infection, whereas it is 65% for the rest of the country.
The seroprevalence study conducted by the ICMR shows that the number of people or the percentage of people who have antibodies in their body is almost around 42%, which shows that our preventive mechanism was very good. Our system is always to test, trace and treat.
Even the 44% seropositivity in Kerala is not just due to infection but also vaccination. Kerala has already vaccinated over half of its adult population with at least one dose. The centre is concerned about Kerala as in the last 8 weeks, average daily new cases have jumped by 13%. Daily deaths have been between 97 and 174. Weekly positivity rate has been between 10.5% and 14.8%, but never below 10%.
The hospital admissions are also gradually increasing, and we have around 3,200 hospital admissions in last 24 hours. The major concern is that if the hospitals are getting filled, if the hospital gets, is saturated, we cannot afford to have more beds. Then it's going to be huge problem for the health infrastructure in Kerala.
The much lauded Kerala model has perhaps in a sense become its undoing as virus exposure has been low. The challenge for Kerala is now to fast track vaccinations even more so that they can slow the rate of infection and bring down hospital admissions, severity and mortality. With SP Babu in Thiruvananthapuram and camera person Nagraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
The Delhi government has asked for feedback on reopening schools for physical classes. Neighbouring Gurugram has already started classes for senior students with COVID protocols. So what's the new normal like in schools? Sonakshi Chakravarti finds out.
I think it feels absolutely fabulous, and we have to inspire that faith and that trust in our parent community and the student community.
Yes, it's a little uncomfortable from what we're used to, but I mean, it's been a year and I mean, we have to take some precautions when we're coming back to physicals.
As neighbouring Haryana reopens schools, Delhi is still debating the issue and has asked for suggestions from parents, schools and students. For nearly a month and a half now, Delhi has been reporting daily COVID cases below 100 with a fatality rate now at 1.74%. Many prominent figures like Rishad Premji and Anand Mahindra have expressed the need to reopen schools. But parents and schools are divided.
The state governments are taking their own decision, but as you would appreciate, it is tightrope walking. It's not an easy decision because on the one hand there is a risk of exposure to the teachers, to the staff and to children.
जब तक सभी बच्चों को भी वैक्सीनेशन ना हो जाए, they should not be allowed to come to the school. There is a major risk to the life of the children.
The fact that children have not been vaccinated yet in India gives rise to the debate whether schools should reopen or not. Schools and parents say that children have been indoors for over a year now and that social interaction is very important for their overall development. With my colleague Parimal Kumar and camera person Sushil Rathi in Delhi, Sonakshi Chakravarti for NDTV.
Days after the Assam-Mizoram border clashes, the Assam government has issued an advisory against travel to Mizoram. Mizoram, meanwhile, has written to the centre alleging an economic blockade. Assam has denied it. But at ground zero, NDTV's Ratnadeep Chaudhary found that a potential crisis of supplies might be looming.
Essential equipment for a life-saving oxygen plant stuck here in Lailapur for 3 days, ever since the firing on the Assam-Mizoram border. Now nothing is moving on the National Highway 306, Mizoram's lifeline.
लगभग 4-5 आदमी आकर के गाड़ी को रोक लिया। मैंने कि बोला कि भैया कि देखो ये हॉस्पिटल का माल है, ये ऑक्सीजन मशीन है जो सिविल हॉस्पिटल आइजोल जाना है और कोला सिविल हॉस्पिटल में जाना है। तो उसने बोला कि नहीं, जो नहीं जाने देंगे, जो हमारे जवान को मार दिया मिजोरम पुलिस वाले, जो हम इधर से ऑक्सीजन नहीं जाने देंगे, कोई सामान नहीं जाने देंगे, कोई ट्रक नहीं जाने देंगे।
बात ऐसे क्योंकि देखिए तो अभी माहौल काफ़ी ख़राब है ना, तो इसलिए हम लोग ऐसे अकेला रिस्क नहीं ले पाएगा ना, जब तक आगे से पूरा कंफर्म ना हो हम लोगों की अभी आप जा सकते हैं, तब तक हम लोग नहीं जा पाएंगे।
This is the only highway that links Mizoram to the rest of the country. All its essential supplies actually reach Mizoram through this highway. But since Monday, after that incident took place where in firing by Mizoram police, 6 Assam police personnel died, the movement of vehicles on this highway is almost now there is no movement.
सिचुएशन में बहुत सा इम्प्रूवमेंट है और दोनों गवर्नमेंट से और होम मिनिस्ट्री से बातें चल रही हैं और सिचुएशन को जल्दी ही रिजोल्व कर दिया जाएगा।
Mizoram has written to the centre complaining about an economic blockade allegedly imposed by Assam. Assam denies any blockade, but it has sent a team of policemen to question Rajya Sabha MP K. Vanlalvena after this controversial comment.
We shot them dead because they shot us first. Whenever they charge our duty post, why don't we shoot them dead? They are lucky that we don't kill them all. If they come again, we shall kill them all.
Last October, after violence at this very border, an economic blockade was imposed. That was resolved after the centre stepped in. Now, another potential crisis is looming ahead. With Ratnadeep Chaudhary at Assam-Mizoram border and Neeta Sharma in Delhi, Rohit Wellington for NDTV.